How's it going, my RWBY friends? In this video, we will be discussing the Volume 6, Chapter 5 RWBY Rewind preview. So if you haven't seen Volume 6, Chapter 4 yet, you might not want to watch this video because there will be objectively minor to major spoilers. I don't know yet. We'll see how the video goes. You guys know how I like to record my videos. No script most of the time, kind of just wing it and talk about what's on my mind. Anyways, the topic, like I said, is going to be the episode of RWBY Rewind that we saw today. As usual, they gave us a preview into the next chapter, and this one came really quickly. Normally, the RWBY Rewind episodes are about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, but they usually run closer to 45. This episode actually played the Rewind preview around the 25-minute mark, so I was actually not ready for that at all. I was actually like AFK getting coffee when I heard them start playing it, so I actually missed the preview myself, but luckily Ditto took some screenshots, and I was able to watch it elsewhere, so it did work out. But it was a really short preview anyways. Basically, we continue off right where Team RWBY was, at the Burnswick farm. And in the preview, we had basically RWBY saying that it was suspicious how the farm looked like people left it, but it didn't look abandoned. Due to her traveling through Mistral to get to Haven, every abandoned place that she had been through looked abandoned. It was desolate, crumbling apart, not taken care of well. Not the case of this farm, which does look like it's been kept up, except that nobody seems there. So RWBY was quite suspicious about what was going on at the farm. Weiss is a bit cold in the back, and Crow approaches the main door, tells the kids to be on their guard. Kind of reminiscent of Volume 5, Chapter 1, when the kids and Crow were going to meet Leo, and everyone was kind of suspicious, and, you know, Crow said the same thing then, kind of like, no, this isn't right, be on your guard, get your weapons. He kicks down the door, and Leo Lionheart's on the other side, and Leo almost has a heart attack, Crow falls over, and it's funny. I don't think we'll get a replay of that, though. This is looking pretty spooky and suspicious, to be honest. The whole thing is covered in snow. It's very blizzardy. It's a good thing that they found the shelter, but we don't know how safe the shelter will be. Now, I do want to add to the fact that, hypothetically, if they didn't find this farm, or if it was a bad place to end up posting up, you know, we probably could have the crew chop down some wood. RWBY and Crow have big sights. Weiss can use a fire glyph. They could probably keep themselves warm. And, you know, you're talking about people with like superhuman powers. I'm sure they could kind of make do, especially because Crow could actually technically fly up. So could RWBY, according to Volume 4 trailer, the Volume 4 character short. Crow could fly up in bird form and like scout around. Now that said, it's too blizzardy in the preview to really scout around as a bird. I don't think he'd be able to see much at all. So that plan probably won't work. But before they got there, it definitely wasn't like super blizzardy. So he could have done it then, but they didn't really need to, I guess, because they were traveling and found the farm. So it kind of worked out. I say kind of because, like I said, this is a very suspicious farm. Now, there's a big theory going around right now about the Headless Horseman. And I gotta give credit to someone in my stream. I forgot who said it, though, to be honest. But as we were doing the Chapter 4 review stream, someone mentioned that Burnswick is actually similar to this town. In German, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Braunschweig, probably. But in English, it's pronounced Brunswick, which is a city in Lower Saxony, Germany. And that is a city where in Scottish folklore, actually, hold up, in German folklore, of course. I don't know, I thought, to be fair, it could have been Scottish folklore having something take place in Germany, my bad. But in German folklore, yeah, in another German tale set in Brunswick, Lower Saxony, a headless horseman called the Wild Huntsman blows a horn to warn hunters not to ride the next day because they will meet an accident. Let me repeat that. In another German tale set in Brunswick and Lower Saxony, a headless horseman called the Wild Huntsman, kind of makes me think of Witcher 3, right? The Wild Hunt. Blows a horn to warn hunters not to ride the next day because they will meet an accident. When you're around a guy like Crow, who already believes his semblance is causing bad luck and misfortune to those around him, this ominous tale seems even more ominous, right? So perhaps they will meet this Headless Horseman guy. Maybe it'll be a ghost. Maybe Maria will be involved in summoning this ghost forth or something. Or maybe he's going to be some wild huntsman. It might not even be a Headless Horseman. It might just be some huntsman who's been living there alone. Either way, there's kind of a lot to theorize on regarding that story. Headless Horseman could be a type of Grimm. Maybe we have the first passive Grimm in the entire show revealed. Let me get a sip of my nice Christmas tree. It's a good freaking mug for this topic. So maybe we do see some sort of huntsman who's been living alone out in the woods. Maybe we do see a ghost. In that case, Maria Calavera's name would definitely play into that possibility. Maybe we see Summer Rose appearing somehow. Again, probably due to Maria Calavera. I'm going to be honest. Let's talk about something else for a brief moment. If they do end up in the house and just have a talking episode, I know talking episodes got a lot of flack in Volume 5. People hated on them. We haven't really had a talking episode in Volume 6 yet, and I do think I personally wouldn't mind it, to be honest. I would like to see Team RWBY, Crow, Oscar, Maria talk about all the crazy stuff that occurred in Chapter 4. Wait, was it Chapter 4 or 5 that we just saw? Whoever one of the last one was, alright? I wouldn't mind seeing all these characters talk about that crazy stuff, because that's one thing I didn't like about the last chapter. It seems like they just blew over all of the insanely crazy stuff that they saw. For example, how humanity was entirely wiped out, and they could have questioned like how it came back, how the moon got shattered, how people had straight up magic. They could have empathized more with Ozpin, being like, wow, yeah, we kind of understand why your life sucks so much. I mean, the dude's been through heck and back. They also realized a lot about Salem's life. They could have even understood where she was coming from a bit more. My point is, I'm not really talking about how they reacted to it. I'm just saying it would have been nice as viewers to see characters that we care about engage in a discussion about such heavily weighted topics, just like we're doing, just like us viewers are doing on social media or wherever you're talking about this. If you have friends in real life, even better, that watch RWBY. Fortunately, I don't really. I've got like one friend who watches RWBY, but he's not up to date with it. So most of us are probably talking on social media and stuff. Just like us viewers are engaging in discussion about all this crazy stuff, all these reveals. This is also a lot of reveals for our characters in this show. So as viewers, we want to see these characters engage in that type of discussion, talking about this crazy stuff. I want to see how they are going to react to all this knowledge that they just obtained. You know, all we've seen them do so far is be upset. And that's not really the case for Blake and Weiss as much. Blake and Weiss didn't have much to say in the last chapter. It was really Yang and Crow that were very upset. So I would like to see how, I would like to see them all talking about that crazy stuff. So if we do get that kind of chapter, I personally would not mind. But let's go back to the theorizing now for a moment. So there is the Headless Horseman theory, there's the Wild Huntsman theory, and there's also the Roman Torchywick theory. As you guys know, in the trailer, we saw the bowler hat go by. That's kind of a pretty big callback to Roman. That's pretty much as big of a callback as it gets without fully showing him in the preview. Also, of course, that kind of implies Neo might appear at some point, especially because we know that they stated that she will be back in the show. But let's keep on Roman Torchywick for a moment. Brunswick, Torchywick, it sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it? And we can take it a step further. Again, this is something we all theorized on during the live stream. People brought this to my attention, and we all talked about it even more. So if you're not tuning into those live streams and you're a first member, definitely consider tuning into those live streams. We do them on Saturdays between 2 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, not o'clock. You guys know what I mean. It depends basically on my work schedule that day, if I get called into the restaurant or not. If I don't, then I do the stream earlier. If I do, I have to do it later because I literally won't be here. But yeah, if you're not a first member, you're also welcome to tune into those streams, but you'll get heavily spoiled for the entire chapter, so your own discretion on that one. Anyways, back to Romans. So if you turn Brunswick around, it can spell out Burnswick, and someone was correlating like burn to Roman. I forget why exactly though. What was that again? Burnswick. I think it had something to do with like the way he ended up getting X'd off or something like that. Point is though, this all definitely could be hinting at multiple things: the Headless Horseman, the Wild Huntsman, Roman Torchywick. So there's a lot of ways for this to go down, and I want to emphasize the fact that with Crow's misfortune and his bad luck, we might see things going from bad to worse in this chapter. And even if not, it's probably going to be a bit of a spooky chapter. Unfortunately, it's not Halloween. What's the date that comes out? I wonder if there's any relevance to that. Let's see. Today's Monday. Let me look up a calendar real quick in November. Let's see what's up here. All right. So the episode's going to air on the 24th, November 24th. November 24th. See if there's anything cool on that date going on. Oh, well, there's a lot of history of that. A way too big of a Wikipedia article to really go off. In that case, Haunting? November 24th, Haunting? Oh my. No way. Hold up a second. Queen Mary. Wait, why is that November 24th though? I think it's just a date. It's just an event date. It's not really historical there. All right, well, I'm not really seeing anything specific about November 24th. Like, at least immediately. I'm not obviously doing that much due diligence at the moment. Kind of just dates for like haunted houses and stuff on Google. Nothing like immediately popping up. Like, there wasn't like a huge thing, I guess. Maybe there's some low-key event that occurred on November 24th. You know, I'll type in one more thing. November 24th, Headless Horseman. And see if anything pops up with that. Let's see here. Again, it's just events. Interesting. Haunted houses and stuff like that. Plays and whatnot. I'd be curious though, what, let's look up RWBY Volume 3 episode list. Let's see what episode Roman ended up getting X'd off on. Just kind of curious about that. Let's see. February 6th. February 6th. November 24th. November 30th. 30 divided by 6. I don't even know what that is. Oh my god, guys. 30 divided by 6. That's gotta be like 5, right? Hold up. Yeah, 5. Dude, 5. Team RWBY plus Crow. 5 people. That means Maria's gonna be, or Crow's gonna be. Oh my god. No, I'm kidding, guys. Obviously, I'm kidding. This is way too loose of a connection. I have no idea. But hey, if you guys find anything cool out about this, definitely leave a comment down below so we can all see it. I'll take a look, and everyone else will take a look as well. Leave a cool comment down there. I'll pin it or something if you find something spooky out about this date, or have more info on the Headless Horseman or the Wild Huntsman or any of that stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, the Huntsman thing might be more probable in my opinion. And the thing is, with that folklore tale, it was like a Headless Horseman who was also a Wild Huntsman. So maybe we do get a Headless Horseman Huntsman person. There was also a theory someone posted on Twitter. I'll read that theory really quick. This guy's name is, to give him credit, supacutiepie.tumblr.com. All right. So if it's not the Headless Horseman, I'll be mad because it works so well. This is all this person's words now, whoever they are. The Brothers Grimm had their own telling of the horseman, or in their case, huntsman. Many years ago in the land of Brunswick, there lived a master huntsman by the name of Hackleberg. Wonder where he got that from. Hold up, let me Google that real quick. Wow, okay, taking me to Facebook. All right, we'll look that up after. He was said to have been so devoted to the hunt that when he lay on his deathbed, he couldn't bear to take the eternal leave from it. He begged God to allow him to exchange his place in heaven for permission to engage in the chase of the soiling forest until Judgment Day. No doubt because he had led... he also... I don't want to get demonetized reading some of the stuff. You know, YouTube is so weird. I might already by bringing up religion and stuff, so it might be too late now. Whatever. He also asked that he be buried in the wilderness of Soiling, and request was granted. His irrelevant, even diabolical wish was evidently also granted, for 4 times every night, the terrifying echo of the haunting horn, signaling the chase, and the baying of hounds can be heard in the wilderness. One time the sounds will ring out from here, another time from there. All this was reported to me by those who have heard these threatening sounds themselves. It is also said that if someone hears these sounds during the night, and still goes hunting the following day, he will inevitably suffer a broken arm or leg or even a broken neck or something even worse, a terrible misfortune. I was told that no one would ever be able to find this grave, whether from inquisitiveness or from a sense of purpose, no matter how determined and adventurous he might be. But if someone should chance upon the site, he would find a pack of frightful black dogs next to it. But since the grim tend to appear a bit... This part I don't even really understand what they typed here, to be honest. But since the grim tend to appear a bit, they could even go for the wild hunt aspect, or the hern huntsman, who had the head of a stag, and curse those for revenge. Either way, this mansion is no good, very bad, and I'm excited because all points towards bad luck cometh, and Crow is about to take a downhill swing. So yeah, obviously Crow definitely might have a problem in a place like this. So, I mean, this might play a role with the cave that we saw on the way here. Perhaps the cave is like maybe there was some like ritual, maybe it's like a cult, guys, or something like that. Maybe it's a cult that friggin' is doing some ritual stuff in the cave, and that's why the place looks like it's abandoned right now, even though it's not, because they're in the cave doing some like weird summoning of some ghost or something, you know, something spooky. That actually seems pretty probable. Also in the intro we saw that the cave from the intro looked very similar to the cave in in this chapter coming up that they pass by before they get to the ranch. Now, I don't want to say it's the exact same because I personally like to look at facts 100% when I say things like that. So it is not the exact same yet. Perhaps it will be when we better see the cave in the actual show. But the cave in the trailer does not look the exact same as the cave that we've seen so far. Let me tell you why. The cave in the trailer has like mine shaft looking appearance with like wooden planks holding things up. There's like a bunch of rocks on the floor looking like it might be a dust mine. The cave in the actual chapter that they passed by didn't show any of the wooden planks or any of the mining things. It just had the same cobblestone around it, and it was still dark inside. But the one in the trailer didn't have the snow all around it like the one in the chapter did. So no, it does not look 100% the exact same. That said, I want to reiterate, perhaps when we get a better look of the cave, it will have the mining things and it will look the exact same perhaps when we get a better look at it. But at the moment, saying it is 100% the exact same would be false information. So let's just keep that in mind. Anyways, I think that does it for about all the theories from this RWBY Rewind, guys. It's looking like an interesting chapter coming up. I was surprised that we were getting more Team RWBY, Crow, Osper. You know what I mean. Freaking Osper. I was talking about like Casper. This ghost stuff is getting to me, guys. Maria Calavera and all that. You know, I was kind of thinking maybe we would see what happened to Jean, Nora, and Ren. We haven't seen them for a while now. And we still might see them in this chapter. Who knows? The RWBY Rewind scene, it might not like be the whole thing. We might get other characters involved and other arcs involved. And with that said, guys, thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this content, consider donating either directly through Streamlabs, link below, or sponsoring on Patreon, link also below for that. And your support is always appreciated, even if it's just hitting that thumbs up button. With that said, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.